Welcome back to the channel. If you like the content I'm creating, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button just down below and the bell notification so that you get um, notified of future videos, which I'm doing very consistently now. So today I'm going to talk about the one biggest secret I found to transforming myself. You see, not like a year ago, barely a year ago, I was in a horrible mess of a place personally, financially. It wasn't good. I mean, it'd been on and off like this my entire life. And, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just kind of like just kept going to work, kept paying the bills, kept doing all this stuff. And like many of you, I'm sure we share this one. I was hoping that things will change in the future. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry to tell you this, and but it ain't gonna happen. If you're waiting for some white knight to show up to save you, if you're waiting for the government to step in and help you, if you're waiting for, your ships to come in, as the saying goes, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. Except for a very, very small percentage of you. Very small. You might as well, like, if you're betting on winning the lottery to get you out of your predicaments, you're screwed. Like, I'm going to do it straight. You're screwed. Just like I was a year ago. So, what I did was I tried all sorts of different things, but the number one biggest thing that I didn't realize at the time would make the biggest difference is using the power of momentum. You see, getting like, say you get trying to push a car, getting that car pushed, like, even to start out is really hard. But once you get it moving, it gets easier and easier and easier, and you go faster and faster. And it's almost like it takes on a life of its own. That's what I'm talking about, momentum. You see, financially, I was a wreck. Running up the credit card bills, not sure what the hell I'm going to do about any of this stuff. And then I went out there and started going after jobs, and I was rejected from some. This channel is about personal growth, financial responsibility, and now I'm not talking responsibility to your debt collectors, your bills. Screw them. Who cares about them? I'm talking about responsibility to yourself. That's what matters. Not living to pay someone's bills. Not living to pay bills in general. It's about being able to progress towards something you want to progress on. Because let's get real, it's like I've been there too. It's like living from paycheck to paycheck and only, getting money to give it away to someone else. It ain't living at all. It sucks. It's you wonder what the hell you're doing any of this for. Why? Because it's like if once you're in this hole, it's like you never get out again. So what I'm talking about momentum is one little action every day will create a monumental difference when you project it out a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years. You see, for me, it was about, I used the method from Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of his books, was to put all credit cards on hold except for one, and you pay that one down with extra. And then I just went one after another, after another, after another. Financially, it was squashing expenses and increasing, as much as I can bring in. Getting that gap between expenses and income so that I can actually have money to use to bring down the debt. And eventually, when the debts get brought down and even eliminated completely, then I can turn it to other things such as investments. I barely this year started to invest in the stock market after 10 years of wanting to do it. And I just said, to hell, with, if I lose 50 bucks, if I lose 100 bucks, if I lose $200, whatever, I'm going to do what I should have done 10 years ago when I knew I should have bought. But this is momentum. You like one little action leads to another, to another, to another. Eventually, it turned to fitness. I mean, how many of you right now are on New Year's resolutions? I'm going to lose X amount of pounds. I'm going to get into the best shape of my life. Some of you will. Most of you won't. That's not a judgment. It's the truth. I mean, you could tell in these videos. I mean, let's be honest. Like I got easily plenty of extra rawn right here on the chin and just about everywhere else on my body. So a few months ago, I went to go do a push-up. Boy, that was a joke. I hit the floor so fast, I could not push myself up. I couldn't even come close. I barely was able to hold myself up at all. So what did I start doing? As I was walking around, at night, I work at night right now, and what I would do is like I would do like these push-ups off the wall. The more inclined you go like this, the easier it is. This as the more you go to horizontal, the harder it's gonna get to push yourself up. So I went started out like this. It wasn't hard at all, and then it was like I kept increasing closer and closer to the horizontal. And while this isn't a fitness channel, the message is the same. At first, there's a big road between, pushing yourself off a wall, for instance, and doing an actual push up. There's a huge difference. But I kept at it, I kept at it, I kept at it. I would do it 3, 4 times a night. I would stop someplace. Maybe I'm riding an elevator up a couple floors all by myself. I grab that railing on the side of the elevator and I just start doing some push ups. I mean, I'm sure if anyone looking in the camera in the elevator at the time is probably get a good laugh. Who's this big dude like trying to do push-ups off in the elevator? It looks silly, but I just kept at it, and then eventually I was almost completely horizontal within like 2 months, almost completely, and then I went into the gym because I was just like, a lot of us buy gyms and we just don't go, and I went and benched over 200 pounds. I was just like, what the hell? I haven't done this since I was a teenager. In 2 months, less than 2 months, I went from not being able to, you know, do a single push up, just falling on my face, to being able to lift enormous amounts of weight that I have not lifted since I was a teenager. And now I've surpassed that. I'm up to 230, and it's growing and growing. You see, momentum is very powerful. How will you use it? You see, if you want to get into the best shape of your life, I hope you're doing something more than sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, because you ain't getting there. But if you take even 5 minutes to get off the couch and run back and forth in your apartment, your house, in the park, whatever, and you just keep that up, you can get into the best shape of your life because it'll build on itself. The getting started is the hard part. You just got to keep going at it and going at it and going at it. And yes, keep your eye on the prize, but also start to enjoy the journey, because if you don't, you're going to lose heart, especially if you're like trying to improve your physical state, because it takes time to improve your physical state. It takes time to improve your financial state. It takes time to improve your emotional state. You see, if we're talking about your like emotional state, are you a basket case? Are you literally flying apart at the hinges? You don't know, the world feels like it's like out to get you. You see, that's in your head. You see, the same situation, four different people will have four different meanings to it. One will think the sky's falling. Another one may think it's an opportunity. Another may even call it out as like, hey, just a fluke. It's a one bad day, no big deal. And another may be thankful that he was there to even experience it at all. You see, same exact thing in front of them. They all have a different meaning to it, and the way you give meaning to something is what really determines what it's going to be. Your perception really is reality. The way you color your perception will determine whether or not something sucks or something's great. That's as simple as it is. Practicing it is a little bit different because there are steps in place. You have to build momentum in that area too, especially if you've lived many years, like the sky is falling and things are out to get you and all that stuff. You got to build, you got to put the scales, right on this side. You got a heavy, all this burden of like doubt and fear, and on the other side it's like really light because you haven't been putting any hope and positivity here. So you gotta balance them out. You gotta start feeding this one and balance the scales down. Eventually, if you keep giving it more and more, it'll eventually be the weighted one. It will be the one you go with. But it takes conscious effort and takes time. And believe me, as an Aries, I hate to wait. Let's be realistic. I absolutely despise to wait. But I've had to wait. I've had to be patient. To my, kicking and screaming and throwing a hissy fit sometimes, after all, I hate to wait, right? But it became like, if you have to wait, you have no choice but to wait. I'm not going to lean down any faster. It's just not going to work that way. I'm not going to get healthier any faster. I'm not going to financially improve any faster. I'm not going to, all these things. I had to really focus in on the journey. Every little victory is a victory. It's progress in the direction you want to go. So focus in on that. Did you do one more rep today on that bench? Victory. Did you do the same amount of reps today on that bench? Victory. You didn't go down, you just stayed the same or went up. Did you add even one more pound to that bench press? Did you add one more, a half a pound to that squat? Victory, victory, victory. You have to judge them as victories because pile those victories up. Inspires you. You're winning. It depends on how you look at it. Did I reach my goal of being able to bench press 500 pounds in a month? That's kind of nuts, but, some people are that, they want to progress that quickly. And it didn't happen, right? Of course it didn't happen. Is that a failure, though? No, it's not a failure. Dude, you increase by even 1 pound. Victory. You see, it's how you define something. And that definition is momentum. So add more to it. Add more to it. Whatever direction you want to go. If you think you can't do it, if you think you're in a position that you're completely stuck in, let me give you a real dose of reality check. You see, you're only stuck in a position unless you're like in prison or something. I'm not talking, I mean physically stuck, like chained to a wall type of stuck. But you're probably not watching this video if that's the case anyway, but if you feel trapped in a position, you're not trapped, that's perception. You see, if you chose right this second, regardless of consequences, you are going to walk out the door. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to walk out the damn door. Remember, regardless of consequences, no consequences matter. You are going to physically move from point A to point B under your own power. If you have to crawl on the ground to get there. See, it's been very consistent in human history that if someone is absolutely determined to do something, completely determined, that they often almost always do it. And what about those people who will not listen? People come in with these rules. You got to do this, you got to do that. Have you ever tried to get someone to do what you want them to do when they say no and stick to it? It's a lost cause. You can't physically move them. And even if you can physically pick that person up and move them over to where you want them to do, you can't make them do the job you want them to do. It cannot be done. You see, you'd have to take their mind to get them to work their own body, because it's their mind that's actually propelling their body to move. If their mind says no and sticks to it, there is nothing you can do to move that person or to get that person to do what you want them to do. Nothing at all, other than straight brainwashing, straight mind control. And how many of you know how to do that? I don't know how to do that. I'm sure there are people who do, but those people are so few and far between. They're probably working for the government anyway. But, you have to, sometimes you got to take a stand and you're like, today is enough. Right now is enough. I'm not going to be this way anymore. And I will actually take action. Action, not sit on your butt. I've done it too. I mean, I'm no saint when it comes to like that. I've sat on my butt and expect results. Yeah, what do you think happened? Nothing happened. But as soon as I start taking action, even how, the littlest amount of action, I started to get massive results. Whether that was physically, financially, personally, just little actions added up very quickly. So if you're not taking action, then take some action. If you take some action and it doesn't work out, change your approach. Learn something new. Someone's done what you want to do. Go learn how to do it. See how they overcame the obstacles. Just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. You will get it. And just add that momentum, add that momentum, add that momentum. In 1 year, 6 months even, not even a year, 6 months, if you take one little action towards the direction you want to go in 6 months you'll be thanking yourself so heavily for having done it. Or in 6 months, you'll be wishing you had done it and wondering why the hell you're still not doing it. Believe me, I've been on every aspect of this, from regret to success, and there's no getting around it. You must do take some kind of action in order to get where you want to go, but it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy as one little thing. A push up off a wall for me, which is really fucking easy. I mean, seriously. Or you could take big action, but take some action to get where you want to go. Or you will not get anywhere, but you're going to stay exactly where you're at. So do it today, do it tomorrow, do it the next day, keep on doing it, and you will be amazed at how fast you can transform things that you believed were hard and difficult and impossible. You'll be amazed. I was, because I'm just getting better all the time, but I had to take some action. I couldn't get around it. I tried everything. I tried every excuse. I tried every, thinking this good thoughts, and maybe if I could write all day about plans and strategies, but if I don't do anything with them, they're no good at all. So momentum, momentum, momentum. One little action every day will equal massive results. Take a minute. It took me 30 seconds, if that, to push up off the wall. 30 seconds. I am so glad that I did it. So glad. Now. So, do something for yourself. What do you want to do? Do you want to, do you want to be physically fit? Do you looking for better finances? Learn some stuff. Apply it. Try other stuff. Apply that. Keep going. You can succeed and you will succeed, but only if you take action in the direction you want to go. Alright? So, if you like this, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us how you're taking action to help yourself. Tell us how you expect to take action to help yourself. What's holding you back? Let us all know. Alright, guys? Have a great one.